about what went on at the motel?
What happened at the motel?
Hey everyone, it's Jonathan Silver here with LazyDog Films, and today I'm going to be talking about Detroit.
Melvin, you want to go home?
Yeah.
What happened at the motel?
Now, Detroit is the latest film from director Kathryn Bigelow, also written by Boal, who also wrote the films The Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30, both films also directed by Kathryn Bigelow. Both great films of depictions of the slice of life. Well, Hurt Locker is this nice depiction of a slice of life for a soldier, fictionalized to a very high degree. But nonetheless, such a great film. In Zero Dark 30 was the depiction of the raid on Osama bin Laden's camp back in 2011? 2011, let's go with 2011, because I can't remember off the top of my head.
That's correct.
But Detroit tells the story of the Algiers Motel Incident on July 25th, 1967, in which Detroit City Police held a group of young black men and 2 white women hostage, leaving 3 dead. It is a devastating story, and one that is very much important to tell, especially right now in this political climate, and also with the stuff that's going on with police, especially with the Baltimore police officer who was seen planting evidence, and also the rampant amount of police shootings that are pretty prominent in the news, as well as the prominence of Black Lives Matter in the media. Detroit might have you believe that John Boyega from Star Wars is the star of the film, and you would be mistaken. I think going in thinking that you're going to follow one person's perspective throughout this entire film, I think you're going to be highly disappointed in that. If you go in thinking that, hey, John Boyega is the star of this movie and he's doing an American accent, yeah. No, you're going to be disappointed. This follows Algee Smith and Gerard Jacob Latimore. Algee Smith plays a member of the Dramatics that is caught up in this incident, and Jacob Latimore plays kind of like the band's sort of, I don't want to say groupie, but he's kind of like the assistant and helping everybody get waters and things like that. And it is devastating to see not only the film through their eyes, but also through the eyes of many of the people that we see on the streets of Detroit throughout the entire film. The film opens up with kind of like these Afro-Cuban style paintings, explaining the story of what's happening in the political climate in the 1960s, not only in Detroit, but also multiple cities around the country. And it starts with the Civil War, with many blacks moving into more white neighborhoods. I say white with air quotes because technically all neighborhoods were probably white before the abolishment of slavery. With the movement of black families from the south to the north to find not only work but also escape and find civil rights in the north. And then right after that, the film kind of depicts the start of the Detroit riots. Not really explaining or going into detail as to who's to blame for the riot itself. I think Boal does a fantastic job of not placing the blame on a specific group of people or a specific person, to be exact. It's more along the lines of tensions were extremely high around this point. Here's the frustration that is felt within the community. Here's the frustration that's felt within the police department. You do get some scenes that are like that. Not entirely, but we do get most of the perspective from the black neighborhood. But we don't necessarily side against the police officers too much until, I would say, later on in the film. I think if you're going to come away from this film hating one side completely, I think you missed the point almost entirely. Now, this film has great cinematography. It looks as though it was shot using the cameras of the time, filmed like a 35 millimeter, because the grain and the loss of contrast in the image really does feel as though it was a product of the time. And what helps with that is it's the editing has different news segments spliced within the film that make it seamless, where it's we're seeing Detroit the way Kathryn Bigelow envisions it, and from there it moves into a newsreel showing real footage of people being taken into paddy wagons, and it moves right into the story again with Poulter in the police department standing around, and it's nearly seamless. Like, I had a hard time. I kind of came out of the movie thinking, "Oh snap, that was real footage that they used," and the way they use it is it's just so. It's so mesmerizing that that they were able to get away with it. The cinematography is great. It has this very cinema verite style where it's kind of handheld, but it's not obnoxious to the point where you're going to throw up like you're watching a Jason Bourne film. It almost feels like a documentary, as though you're watching something that you aren't supposed to, like a home video, like you're catching everything that's happening. The film is very intense and very dramatic. It's my favorite film of the year so far. I think it's very well made. It's respectful to those who were involved in the incident and earnest enough to tell the story as truthful as depicted. And what I like about this also is that at the very end, you get your standard, biopic things where you get the subtitle with the title cards and the pictures of where are they now. But there is a title card at the very end of the film that says, honestly, that they don't know exactly what happened, but they're going based on eyewitness testimony and police reports and in court documents. And I think that's such a bold choice to actually come out with and say, hey, this film is fictional, but we tried to stay true to those who were involved. I think that's very respectful, and I think that also lends to the film just even a tad more. I think it made me like the film even that much more. I don't want to give much away. I think you can probably read this all on Wikipedia and come away with something. But watch the film. It is fantastic. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I've been Jonathan Silva. Don't forget to follow me on Patreon. Patreon, Facebook, Twitter. I've been Jonathan Silva, and this has been LazyDog Films.